Hello, third graders, and welcome to Positive Action. Now, in the past positive actions, we've been thinking about self-concept, how we think and feel about ourselves. In the next unit, we're going to be focusing on our physical body and how to keep our physical body healthy. We were looking at our self-concept being positive and keeping our mind healthy. Now we're going to work on our body. So today we're going to begin looking at Dr. Staywell, and this is Dr. Staywell right here. He's with us to help us learn about how to take care of our bodies and be healthy. Being healthy means to be well or be in good health, and it makes us feel good about ourselves when we are healthy. To get you better acquainted with him, I will read a story about him and one of his patients, a third grader named Teresa. Let's go ahead and begin. Dr. Staywell's Miracle Cure. Teresa Armandez was not a happy child. She was cranky and she whined all the time. She never wanted to help the other third graders. She never did her chores at home. "I'm too tired," she whined whenever someone asked her to play or do a little work. "Just leave me alone." People did leave Teresa alone. Her whining was bad enough, but her appearance made things worse. She was never very clean. Her hair was often greasy and ratted. Her teeth were yellow and her fingernails were very dirty. She usually looked as though she slept in her clothes. Not only that, her attitude was simply awful. She didn't talk much except to complain, and her grades in school were low. The worst part was that Teresa didn't seem to care. Teresa's mother and father cared. They knew other third graders didn't act like she did, but they didn't know what to do. Then one day they heard about a doctor who seemed to work magic with children like Teresa. Kids who had once been sickly, stay at home, developed so much energy under Dr. Staywell's care that their parents couldn't keep up with them. They looked better, felt better, and acted better. If he can do that for all those kids, Teresa's parents told her, surely he can help Teresa. They called Dr. Staywell's office and made an appointment for the very next day. Teresa didn't want to go, but her mother wouldn't give in to her whining. When she saw Dr. Staywell, Teresa was intrigued. He was just about the tallest man she's ever seen. He had lots of curly brown hair and blue eyes that twinkled with fun and friendliness. He had lots of She watched him carefully as he examined her eyes, ears, nose, and throat, listened to her heart and lungs, and with his telescope, and bent her knees and elbows. Dr. Staywell left Teresa alone while he went to talk to her parents. When he came back, he looked so serious. She felt a little frightened. "You could be very sick, young lady," he told her as he sat down on the low stool. "You could be, but you're not. Frankly, I'm surprised." Teresa's eyes widened as he spoke. She never thought about being sick. She listened as he continued. "What you need," he said, his eyes twinkling again, "is a good dose of Dr. Staywell's magic cure. If you use it every day, in no time, you'll be a healthier, happier person." "Do I have to take pills?" Teresa didn't like that idea. The doctor laughed. No pills," he told her. "But at first, this will be much harder than just taking pills. You're going to have to change the way you act towards yourself. Before we start, though, I want you to tell me everything about yourself." He asked her a lot of questions about what she ate, what time she went to bed, whether or not she exercised every day, and how often she bathed, washed her hair, and brushed her teeth. When he was finished, he said, "My goodness, Teresa, no wonder you don't feel good. We've got a lot of work to do. We'd better get started." As they walked from the examining room to Dr. Staywell's office, he said, "You know, Teresa, third graders are old enough to be responsible for taking care of their bodies. They shouldn't need to be reminded to eat the right foods, keep themselves clean, and do all the other things that will keep them healthy. You've been ignoring yourself for so long that you have a lot of healthy habits to develop." In his office, Dr. Staywell sat on the side of the desk, and Teresa sat on the other. "I'm going to give you a project this week for the next 6 weeks. You come in to see me at the end of every week so we can talk about what you're doing." The first week, Dr. Staywell told Teresa about healthy eating. "No more candy and pop for breakfast and lunch," he said. "You must develop the habit of eating food that will make you strong and healthy." He told her about the 5 basic food groups, which she remembered from her school health lessons. They talked about the kinds of food she liked to eat and how to work them into her diet. "I want you to keep a diary of everything you eat at every meal, as well as snacks, for the next week. Make sure you eat something from each of those 5 food groups every day and write it down. The next week, let's see how you feel." Teresa went home and did as she was told. She ate meat, dairy foods, fruits, vegetables, and bread or cereal every day. And she wrote it all down in a little red notebook her mother gave her. By the end of the week, she was looking forward to meals for the first time ever. And when she went back to see Dr. Staywell, she was proud of herself. So was he. "Wonderful," he said. "I can see you're beginning to change already." Next, he gave her assignment to keep a record of how often she washed her hair, bathed, cleaned, and trimmed her fingernails, and put on clean clothes. At the end of the week, Teresa all but bounced into Dr. Staywell's office. "I feel so clean," she told him, "and I smell so good. Mom said I'd washed off all the germs from my body collected during the day every time I took a bath and washed my hair. I really like this habit." In the weeks to follow, Dr. Staywell gave Teresa assignments that included daily physical exercise, getting enough sleep and rest, caring for her teeth, and avoiding illness. He talked to her about how to use medicines correctly and why it's important to stay away from things that could hurt her. Every week, she did just as he told her to, all the while building the habits she'd begun earlier. At her last visit, Teresa was completely different. "We can't believe the change in her," Teresa's parents told the doctor. "You really have done a magical cure. Her grades are improving, she's more fun to be around, and most importantly, she feels so much better about herself that we feel good about her too." "What in the world did you do?" Dr. Staywell winked at Teresa and grinned. "I didn't do anything," he said. "Teresa did all the work and all the magic. She's developing some good, healthy habits. She's been responsible for her own physical need. Not much magic on my part." He gave Teresa a big hug. "Now, young lady," he said, "you just keep working the magic. I don't want to see you in here again unless it's to show off how magically healthy you are." Teresa giggled and grinned, then took her parents' hands and left the office. But before the door closed, she turned to look at Dr. Staywell and said, "Thanks for everything. Thanks for showing me showing me your magic tricks. Then she went home as a happier, healthier third grader. Now we're going to look at a couple of questions on here, and I know you probably can't see, so I'm going to read them out to you. So our first question is, or some comments that Dr. Staywell talked about in his story, and what he's going to focus on is eating the right foods from all four food groups, and we're going to learn about that later on. Keeping our bodies clean, making sure we're brushing our teeth, bathing, exercising daily, getting enough sleep and rest, taking care of our teeth, keeping our bodies healthy and free from disease, using medicines and drugs correctly, and avoiding harmful substances. In our unit number 2, we are going to be looking at all of these things Dr. Staywell has been talking about. Today, you're just watching a video, and we are getting started with this lesson, and we'll continue in our next one.